Hello and welcome to Lovely English Stories. Thank you for stopping by. This story is written for advanced English learners. Ready? Let's get started. C1 English Story. The Comedian. Lola was a unique child in many respects. She found the company of children her own age quite tedious and almost arduous at times. She liked to be alone and didn't particularly enjoy what other teenagers her age seemed to adore. More often than not, she would rather have her head in a book while listening to alternative music blasting out of her noise cancelling headphones. She found immense joy and solace in reading intricate stories, watching YouTube videos about our ancient ancestors, and expanding her knowledge about all things prehistoric. She didn't care much for other children her age. She knew she was awkward and witty beyond her years, meaning a lot of her peers didn't really connect with her. It didn't bother Lola. She knew she would one day meet others like her. She was aware that she was well liked by many, but she wouldn't be swayed by other people or their intentions, no matter how good or ill meaning they were. Lola was a self confessed nerd. She was the geek of the class. She utilized her given role like a suit of armor and cherished it in some respects. She found her intellect to be her strongest asset, and she worked hard to retain a high level of social intelligence and wit. Lola could be a bully's perfect target, but as she was so incredibly funny, she was bypassed. She had never once been picked on by another child because she always had them in fits of giggles. She knew that laughter was the key to many things, but mainly the key to getting her own way and avoiding the school bully's harsh words and actions. Lola frequently joked herself out of tricky situations with ease, so much so that she decided that once she had completed her studies at college, she wanted to be a comedian. She had already started creating jokes and comical stories. She tested them out on her unknowing classmates and teachers. Lola enjoyed the idea of being a comedian. She certainly wasn't the class clown, but she appreciated hearing her classmates chuckle at her jibes. Being 15, she only had a year left at school before she would head off to college and pursue her A level studies. She was well aware that at college she would be in contact with more people like her who were pursuing similar topics of interest, and she couldn't wait to become acquainted with them. Lola asked her parents to take her to see comedians whenever they could. She saw world famous ones and local ones. She analysed their craft and made detailed notes on their performances. She looked at the nuances of their work and how she could incorporate it into her own. Although she was an introvert and didn't often socialize with her friends outside of school time, she loved to be on the stage. She savored the feedback of an audience and hearing the joy in people's voices when commenting on her performance. She recently won a competition as the best local teenage comedian, and her peers at school couldn't believe it. Not because she wasn't funny, but because she was a self confessed loner, and the thought of Lola up on stage making people chuckle and snort with laughter almost felt like a step too far. Her personality was like chalk and cheese. She was an introverted extrovert in many respects. In order to make it as a well known comedian, She had to be self disciplined. She had to learn from the greats, acquire a sense of self, and project confidence, self assurance, and humor at all times. Lola relished the challenge of performing, and even when it went wrong, which it occasionally did, she evaluated what had happened and rectified her mistakes for future shows. Being a comedian wasn't all fun and laughter for Lola. It entailed long hours chained to her desk, struggling to think of witty retorts. She wanted to use her talent to address sensitive issues, and doing so could often prove difficult. She felt like she was walking on a tightrope and had to ensure she had the perfect balance of humor and intellect. For now, Lola was content with winning local and regional comedy shows, but for the future, she had her sights set high and knew if she continued to believe in herself and take pleasure in the process, she would one day become a successful and much loved comedian. Now, let's go through some vocabulary from the story. We'll start with an idiom: to be like chalk and cheese. If people are like chalk and cheese, they are completely different from each other. Giggle. To giggle. To giggle is to laugh repeatedly in a quiet but uncontrolled way. Incorporate. To incorporate is to include something as part of something bigger. Intellect. Intellect is the ability to understand and to think in an intelligent way. Introvert. An introvert is someone who is shy, quiet, and prefers to spend time alone rather than being around other people. Relish. To relish something is to like or enjoy it. Retain. To retain. To retain is to keep or continue to have something. Asset. Asset. An asset is a useful or valuable quality, skill, or person. Assurance. Assurance is confidence, or it can also mean a promise. Bully. A bully. A bully is not a nice person and someone who hurts or frightens someone else, often over a long period of time. Sometimes bullies can force other people to do something that they don't want to do. Evaluate. To evaluate is to judge or calculate the quality, importance, amount, or value of something. Extrovert. So, an extrovert is the opposite of an introvert. An extrovert is an energetic person who enjoys being with other people. Harsh. Harsh. If something or someone is harsh, then they are unpleasant, unkind, cruel, or more severe than is necessary. Immense. If something is immense, it is extremely large in size or degree. Peer. A peer is a person who is the same age or has the same social position or abilities as other people in a group. Pursue. To pursue. If you pursue a plan, activity, or situation, then you try to do it or achieve it. You work really hard to pursue something. Rectify. To rectify something is to correct it or to make something right again. You might hear people say, "We need to rectify the situation." Tedious. If something or someone is tedious, then they or it are boring. Wit. Wit. Wit is the ability to use words in a clever and humorous way. We hope you enjoyed this lovely English story and the vocabulary explanations. Thank you for stopping by. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Get productive and check out our language learning productivity packs on Etsy. Use code YouTube10 for 10% off. See you soon!